You know, I don't want there to be any hard feelings between us, Harvey. When you and Rachel were being abducted, I was sitting in Gordon's cage. Now, I didn't rig those charges.
Your man, your plan.
Do I really look like a guy with a plan? You know what I am? I'm a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do with one if I caught it. You know, I just do things. The mob has plans. The cops have plans. Gordon's got plans. You know, they're schemers. Schemers trying to control their little worlds. I'm not a schemer. I try to show the schemers how pathetic their attempts to control things really are.
Hey, Shalom. All praises to Yahawashi, Yahawashi, Vashem Rakakadash. Much mercy to you true believers out there. You ones in the spirit, understanding that new covenant, which is obeying Yahawashi now. You're not waiting to apply the commandments of the new covenant. You have to apply them now. So without applying the new covenant and agreeing with the Lord in total obedience, then you're not being obedient. Because guys talk about obedience and all this immortality and power and all this bullshit, but you're not obeying Yahawashi. You're not following the Lord's new commandments. You see, guys are deliberately teaching from that because guys are of this world. So I want to read this real quick. I got a couple of scriptures I wanted to go into because true obedience is abiding in Yahawashi. Now, when you understand Yahawashi, you'll understand that the chief priests and the scribes, they had to teach the old covenant so they can have a place in the world and so they can make their money. Abiding under the new covenant, you can't have a place in the world and you won't be able to make money. But guys have made a covenant with Esau. So therefore, if you make a covenant with Esau, the new covenant with Yahawashi, you can't make a covenant with Yahawashi and you're in league with Rome. So there's no obedience. You're being disobedient when you're not following that covenant. Matter of fact, let me grab something real quick. Because the heavy thing about this truth is that the orders and the order of things have already been laid down. Now, what men and these groups and these guys, this is the pattern. They've been set up to get you to be disobedient to the laws that the Lord brought and just undermine them and not really, oh, we're not in the covenant. You know, that attitude. But then think that you got some type of power. You think you're going to be immortal without exhorting that new covenant. Get the fuck out of here. This is Matthew 17:1. And after 6 days, Yahawashi taketh Peter, James, and John, his brother, and bringeth them up to a high mountain apart, and was transfigured before them, and his face did shine as the sun, as the raiment was white as light. So the Lord took Peter, James, and John up to this high mount, and behold, appeared unto them Moses and Elijah talking with him. Then Peter said unto Yahawashi, Lord, is it good for us to be here? If thou wilt, let us make 3 tabernacles, one for thee, one for Moses, and one for Elijah. While he yet spake, beheld a bright cloud, behold, shadowed him. Listen to this. Behold, the voice out of the cloud which said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. So the Lord is well pleased with the Lord. You got to hear the Lord. If you're not obeying the Lord and you're not abiding in that covenant, if you're not exhorting that covenant like the apostles did in Acts, like Paul did, like all the ones of the new covenant, they showed you how to exalt the Lord. If you're not obeying the new covenant and the new agreement, then there is no immortality, and you're being totally disobedient. The scripture tell you rebellion is Rebellion is witchcraft. And witchcraft is a sin. So don't be tricked by these guys, man. The thing is, well, you brothers, you know what it is. But what they're doing is they're going all around Yahawashi. So they're teaching all this shit, but then they're not explaining to you that the Lord said from out of heaven, he said, you got to hear my son. You have to follow his ways now. Let me read that again. It says, while he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them. Behold, a voice out of the cloud which saith, beloved, this is my beloved son in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. So you have to understand that the Lord, if you're not following that covenant, then you're being totally disobedient. It don't matter what the camp doctrine is. That's why the Lord said, in vain they do worship me. So without Yahawashi, there is no immortality. If you leaving Yahawashi out the picture, there is no obedience. It's only disobedience. And there's going to be judgments for that. Matthew chapter 15, verse 8, this people draw nigh unto me with their mouth and honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines and the commandments of men. Right. So what guys are doing, they're following the camp doctrine unto destruction, thinking that it's power and not honoring that covenant right now. And guys talking about, yeah, we're approaching this. That approaching shit is not in the scriptures. The Lord breathed the breath unto the disciples, and the Lord gave him the spirit. So it's a direct order the Lord gave to them. He said, this is my beloved son, hear ye him. And Elijah's and the Moses, they went away, and it was just the Lord standing there. So if you're not obeying the Lord, if you're not hearing the Lord, if you're not obeying what the letter's saying read, then everything you're talking about, it ain't shit. It ain't nothing, man. And a lot of you guys, you're gonna be really surprised. Matthew 15 and 9. But in vain they do worship me. That's why everything these guys are doing, it's all in vain. And it's all to be seen of men. It's just a bunch of vain talk. And people want to sound good. But the truth of it is, if you're not hearing the Lord's beloved son, then you're rebelling. You're rebelling against the Lord. And so whatever you're teaching, and if you're not teaching to honor his son in the covenant, then it's just rebellion. That's all it is. It's just rebellion. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 23. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. So a lot of these guys, they're a bunch of goddamn sorcerers. And stubbornness is in the iniquity of idolatry. So these camps, they're full of idol worship now, because they do what their elders say over what the Lord said. Now the Lord just specifically told you in Matthew 15, he said, this is my son now. You got to hear him. You have to follow his ways. You have to follow his commandment. So what guys are doing, they're being stubborn, and they're committing what? Witchcraft. And they're in a pool of iniquity. It says, for rebellion is just the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry, because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord. He have also rejected thee from being king. So guys have no power teaching this word. They have no power. They've been rejected, like the Lord said. You cannot be a ruler rejecting the ways of the Lord. Now, if the Lord said, this is my son, you got to hear him, then that means you have to follow what the Lord says now. But these guys, like I say, they dealing with idolatry. They're dealing in witchcraft because they're rebelling against the words and the orders that the Lord gave. You see? Mark 12 and 10. And ye have not read this scripture, the stone which the builders rejected has become the head of the corner. Right. Yahawashi is the head of the corner, which guys are not following that. So they're out on the corner without their head, without the true head. So it's heavy. Luke 9:22, the Son of Man must suffer many things and be rejected of the elders and the chief priests and scribes and be slain and raised the third day. So guys don't understand that the elders they're following, they rejected the covenant of Yahawashi. They've rejected it. And so all you guys in these groups, you're dealing in witchcraft now. And you're dealing in idolatry, because the words that the Lord told you in the new covenant, he said, this is my son. You got to hear his son. Now you have to follow his son. All the other prophets in the scriptures, they were waiting on Yahawashi. So why the fuck are these guys putting the Lord off like that? Because it's not about the Lord. It's about these guys and their place with this world right now. So guys talking about some immortality and obedience. You're not being obedient if you deny the covenant and if you're not abiding in those agreements that the Lord left. So it ain't us you fucking hating, you rebelling against, because we're basically telling you the right shit. The thing is, you hate the Lord, and you hate the Lord because you're fucking carnal. And the spirit of the Lord is nowhere in you. So you guys don't have no power. They have temporary power with this world, which the spirit of the Lord is snatching that shit from under their fucking legs. All these fucking clowns out there thinking they're teaching some shit. When their elders, they rejected the Son of Man back then, and their elders, they're rejecting them now. And all you clowns in these groups, you're the same wicked scribes and the Pharisees that was following them corrupt ass elders that stoned Stephen. In the book of Acts, you had all them fucking camps and them sectors of men. They was stoning. They stoned Stephen to death. So the stone of the corner is being rejected by these reprobates in these big, large ass groups, and that's just the truth. So the Lord was rejected of all men. You know, he wasn't double honor. He wasn't none of that shit. He was rejected. Luke chapter 17, verse 24. For as lightning that lighteneth out of the one part under heaven, shineth unto the other part under heaven, so shall the Son of Man be in his day. But first he must suffer many things and be rejected of this generation. So guys are rejecting the Lord, teaching the old laws, which are done away with, basically. I mean, you keep them to the best of your ability, but as far as sacrifices and the commandments and the new laws and the new covenant and the agreement, you have to follow Yahawashi now. You see? But that's the thing. The Lord is such a merciful power that he will send men to try to pull a few out the fire, because the majority of you guys in these groups, you're going to die, bro. You're really going to die, because guys are deliberately not following the Lord, and they're not pushing those covenants of the Lord, because these guys are of the devil. They're Satan. So with their hearts, they speak all this good shit, but they're not following the Lord. You see what I'm saying? So it's heavy what's happening. It's very heavy. So this is what you got to understand. The Lord said, this is my beloved son, hear ye him. He's Lord over the Sabbath. The Lord said that he was greater than Solomon. But what do we have in this generation? The Lord said this generation has to reject the Lord. So this is prophecy being fulfilled. That's why a lot of guys in these groups, they're going to be surprised. And be like, man, we thought we was prophesying in your name and all this. But you rejected the Son until you get some bodies. Jude chapter 1, and 23. And others say with fear, pulling them out the fire, hating the garment spotted by the flesh. And that's who we're doing. That's what we're doing. We're pulling a few out of that major judgment that's coming. You see, we're pulling a few out. Yeah, this is it too. Let me read this. Jude 1:15, to execute judgment upon all and to convince all that are ungodly among them, and of all their ungodly deeds which they have ungodly committed. Right. So the ungodly, the deeds, what they're doing, they're Xing the Lord out, and they're teaching around the gospels. They're teaching deliberately around Yahawashi, and they're not following his commandments. They've, just like the scriptures say, the Son of Man must be rejected by the elders. So the Lord is being rejected right now in this time. And the new covenant and Yahawashi is not being glorified like the apostles did in Acts. Guys are just getting on these videos, just blurting out knowledge and just throwing out scriptures, but it's all out of order because they don't put Yahawashi first. So there is no immortality, and guys are being totally disobedient, handling the word of the Lord deceitfully. This is what guys are doing. So there is no obedience. Guys are being fucking disobedient because guys are of this world. So you have to get away from these groups. You really do. There is no obedience denying the covenant. There is no obedience. Now, Ephesians 2:2, where in time past ye have walked accordingly to the course of this world. That's what guys are doing now. They're walking unto the course of this world and not according to the order of the scriptures. The Lord said, this is my son, hear ye him. That means that Moses and Elijah, none of their words was over the Lord. So the old laws of Moses, the Lord is over them. The Lord said you got to listen to him. It says, where in times past you walk accordingly to the course of this world, according to the prince and the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. Heavy, man. Here go another one too. Ephesians 5:6, it says, let no man deceive you with vain words, for because of this thing cometh the wrath of the Most High upon the children of disobedience. Guys are disobedient. Guys are not being obedient. Guys are prospering in this world because they are of this world. That's why. You see what I'm saying? Guys think that gain is godliness, but it's not. This is their world. Now, 1 Peter 1:2, according to, it says, 1 Peter 1:2, elect according to the foreknowledge of the Most High, the Father, through the sanctification of the Spirit unto obedience of the sprinkling of the blood of Yahawashi. So you have to be, the ones that's blessed are the ones that's obedient of the blood of Yahawashi. If you don't drink of his blood or eat of his flesh, if you don't move like the Lord and walk like the Lord, then you're being disobedient right now. If you're following those old laws of Moses and you think that those sacrifices and your high holy days and all that carnal shit that guys are doing is over what the Lord brought, and you're truly mistaken. So a lot of you guys, you are being you're being disobedient unto the Spirit, not to us, because it's like, like what we're saying, us, it's not even about us. It's about what the scriptures are saying and what guys are doing. So that shows you that these guys are against the Lord and they're worshiping the Lord in vain because they're not obedient to the Son. Corrupt men are totally disobedient to the order of the scriptures. And this is how they is. And they're teaching our people to do that, man. And they're it's heavy because they're deliberately teaching our people to be disobedient unto the Son. That's why the Lord said, though, he said, hey, the Son of Man must be rejected of this generation. So it's heavy. It's heavy. So they're rebelling against the Lord. And it's a very a heavy judgment that's going to come for this. That's going to come on you guys in these groups. Luke 17:25. But first, he must suffer many things and be rejected of this generation. So the Lord has to be rejected in his time. There is no obedience, disobeying Yahawashi. Or not even pushing him like that. Guys are not even pushing the Lord like that because they're demonic, man. So there is no power or immortality without the covenant of Yahawashi, man. Now, Hosea 6:5, it says, therefore I have used them by the prophets, and I have slain them by the words of my mouth. So the true men of the Lord are slaying these guys, which is causing guys to move far and farther away from Yahawashi. And it's heavy what the guys are deliberately not honoring that covenant of Yahawashi just because we're exalting them and they're getting slayed. But they're going to be destroyed for doing that, not us. It says, and thy judgment are as the light that goeth forth. Verse 6, for I desire mercy and not sacrifice. So going back in the Old Testament, the Lord was telling you that he desires love. You see? That's why the Lord tells you in Matthew 23, the scribes and the Pharisees, they omit faith, mercy, and discernment, because that is ultimately the new covenant. That is ultimately the laws that the Lord brought. You see? So let me read this again. For I desire mercy and not sacrifice, and the knowledge of the Most High more than burnt offering. So a lot of you guys, you're not, you're out of order. You're thinking that you're going to have immortality without exalting that covenant right now. That shit is crazy. Hosea 6:7. But they, like men, have transgressed the covenant. There have they dealt treacherously against me. That's right. So these guys teaching this word, they're dealing treacherously with the word. And they're going against the new covenant, and they're not hearing the Son. So there is no immortality being disobedient to the new covenant. There is no immortality. And these guys getting on these videos, it's all vain talk. It's all chit chat. It's like their words don't mean a goddamn thing because they're not obeying the Son. They're being rebellious. So the Lord said rebellion is just like you doing witchcraft. And all these guys, they're a bunch of goddamn wizards and idolaters. They idolize these carnal men in the flesh, and they're not exalting that covenant. But with that, man, there's no immortality without the covenant, man. Get the hell out of here. The sword of the Lord is against all you fucking groups that's putting the Lord on the back burner. You're not exalting him. Like if you want to know how to exalt the Lord, study the apostles in Acts. You fucking clowns, man. You see? None of you guys are the men of the Lord from old, because all the men of the Lord, they knew the Lord was coming, man, to do something great. I mean, they knew the Lord was coming to do something that no prophet or man had ever done. So there's no immortality denying the new covenant. And with that, shalom.
They look thirsty! Well, let's give them something to drink! To the cleanse!